All right, so today we're going to be looking at equivalent ratios. So we always want to start with our original ratio. The original ratio is the pattern, the comparison of stars to hearts. So as you see here, we have stars to hearts. So I want to make sure I'm labeling first. So I'm going to label stars to hearts in that order. So let's look at our original ratio here. We have 2 stars to 3 hearts. So our original ratio here is 2 to 3. Now, we're going to repeat this pattern 5 times. Okay? So if we're going to repeat it 5 times, that means we're going to multiply both parts of the ratio by 5 to get our new ratio. So our new ratio is the new total of stars compared to hearts. Okay, so if we repeat the same pattern 5 times, we would do 2 times 5, which is 10, and 3 times 5, which is 15. So our new ratio would be 10 to 15. There would be a total of 10 stars and to 15 hearts. Okay? So, really, when we put the original ratio and the new ratio together, we get what's called a proportion. And a proportion shows 2 ratios that are equivalent to each other, which we just did. If we multiply both the top and the bottom by the same number, and we repeated the pattern, that means that you have 2 equal ratios. So that's what we did here. We took our ratio of stars to hearts, and our stars was 2. This was our original ratio, 2 to 3. And then our new ratio, after we repeated the pattern 5 times, we got the ratio of 10 to 15. Okay, now we call this a scale factor when we multiply or repeat the pattern. So our scale factor was multiplying by 5. The scale factor is the multiplier used to make the new ratio. It must be the same on both the top and the bottom. So our scale factor in this case was multiplying by 5 because that's what we multiplied by to get our new ratio. All right, now let's do some example problems. So we're going to be finding x for the equivalent ratio. So we're going to set a proportion. Remember, this is called our variable, a letter in math. A variable is a letter. It represents a number we haven't figured out yet. So we're trying to find the variable, the x. It's our unknown, okay? So we're going to look at here. We're going to figure out the scale factor. What is it that we're multiplying or dividing by? Whatever we do to the bottom, we also have to do to the top or vice versa, okay? So if we look here, how do we get from 4 to 28? What is it that we multiply by to get from 4 to 28? Oh, we multiply by 7. So we're going to do the same thing here. If we're multiplying the bottom by 7, we're going to come up to the top and multiply it by 7. So 3 times 7 would be 21. So the value of x, our variable here, is 21. Okay, let's do a few more examples. All right, we're always going to start with the 2 numbers that we have. So I have 4 and 8, so I'm going to ask myself, how do I get from 4 to 8? What is it that I'm multiplying by to get from 4 to 8? Well, 4 times 2 gives me 8. So since I'm multiplying by 2 on the bottom, I have a scale factor of 2, so now I have to multiply the top times 2 as well. So 3 times 2 is 6. So x equals 6. Okay? Again, I'm going to look. I'm going to take the side, either the top or the bottom, where I see the 2 numbers. And our arrow's always going to go towards the variable, the x. So I have 20 and 5 here. So I need to ask myself, how do I get from 20 to 5? Well, I'm getting smaller this time, so I'm not multiplying. I'm actually dividing, and we're dividing by 4. So whatever I do to the top, I now have to do to the bottom. So 12 divided by 4 is 3. So x equals 3. Okay, let's do that again. Again, I'm going to go whichever I see on the top. I have 2 numbers. So I'm going to go in the direction of my x. And I need to see, how do I get from 11 to 33? Oh, I multiply by 3. So whatever I do to the top, I have to also do to the bottom. So if 11 times 3 is 33, I also have to multiply at the bottom by 3. So 2 times 3 is 6. So x equals 6. All right, let's look again. This time, both numbers are on the bottom. So I want to pay attention to the bottom. I want to ask myself, how do I get from 25 to 5? Well, I'm getting smaller this time, so I'm not multiplying. I'm dividing. So how do I get from 25 to 5? I divide by 5. So if 25 divided by 5 is 5, I now have to come up top and also divide by 5. So 35 divided by 5 is 7. So x equals 7. Okay, last one. I'm going to check, how do I get from 7 to 56? I am getting bigger, so I am multiplying. And 7 times 8 is 56. So if I'm multiplying the bottom by 8, I have to come up top and multiply the top by 8. So 6 times 8 is 48. And that is how we find equivalent ratios.